In this video, we will introduce bounded wildcards within the Java programming language. Bounded and unbounded wildcards in generics are two types of wildcard available in Java. Any type can be bounded either upper or lower class hierarchy in generics by using bounded wildcards. Upper bounded wildcards is when you specify a question mark with the keyword extends, followed by a type, which means argument can be any field or subclass of that field. Let's look at an example. One of a parameterized type integer. We see here a list. And the other of parameterized type double. So here we're passing integers and here we're passing doubles. Here we have a list of integers and here we have a list of doubles. Both are being passed to method add, which has a wildcard construct that extends number. Remember, this means that it can be any field or subclass of that field. In this case, double and integer are both subclasses of number. Now let's talk about lower bound wildcards. Lower bounded wildcards is when you specify a question mark with the keyword super followed by a type, which means argument can be any field or superclass of that field. We're going to write a method that is lower bound, which argument can be an integer or superclass of an integer to illustrate. So here we're going to make our method which will only print our type or a super of it. So there's my method signature. And now I'm going to print my list being passed, and that will count as my method logic. Now we're going to call this method from our main method with different values. First, we're going to do it with a new array list of type integer. Then we're going to do it with another list of type number. And lastly, a list of type double. Do you see here how the compiler complains? We have a problem here. As we can see, the Eclipse notifies us that there is an error. It tells us that the argument ArrayList of parameterized type double is not applicable for this method signature. Why? Because only the field or its superclass are applicable, and double is not a superclass of integer. Use an extends wildcard when you only get values out of a structure. Use super wildcard when you only put values into a structure. And don't use a wildcard when you both get and put. This concludes our discussion of bounded wildcards in Java.